Number 134 in the Imprint range is The Nelson Affair from 1973. A little bit of an oddball of a movie. I think it's based on a play. Definitely has that feel about it. And we kind of follow the story of George, a young man who's going to stay with his uncle Nelson. And he gets to find out a lot about the life of this great man, a man who's never met but obviously knows his reputation. Nelson has returned from one battle, and this is the period of time before he goes off to his final battle of Trafalgar. And he, George, kind of gets to meet the ex-wife of Nelson and his current girlfriend, partner at the time.
You are an impertinent cow, and I don't know why I bother to keep you.
And we have Glenda Jackson playing Lady Hamilton, and this is the kind of main character of the piece. She is a larger-than-life, crass, explosive drunk who has a wicked mouth and just doesn't fit into the high society of which Nelson is a big part of. He's such a revered gentleman. He's such a sort of hero to the country and to young George that he is literally gobsmacked in meeting this woman from the first time. And Glenda Jackson absolutely knocks it out the park in this performance of Lady Hamilton, who is just wonderful. And it's all about these characters trying to come to grips with the way they are.
Then if it is my house, tell that bugger to get out of it and never come back.
Lady Hamilton herself knows her reputation and just is willing to fully lean into it at certain points. But seeing this through the young eyes of George was a wonderful tact for the movie. And the movie is really quite funny and satirical at certain times as well. Possibly, definitely, a fictionalised idea of people at the time and the way they dealt in their private worlds around it. But it's kind of funny, and I do think that Peter Finch is quite great as Horatio Nelson. There's a wonderful moment where George has spoken his mind at table, spoken some truth that he knows, and it's kind of robbed the atmosphere from the room. Well, it was already in its way out.
Not to his room, out of this house tonight. Send him back to his friend, the bitch woman of Bath.
I still give the orders in this house, and I expect them to be obeyed.
And Nelson has been tasked with being stuck in a hard place. He kind of has to talk to George about this. It's a nephew he's just recently met. Lady Hamilton is really upset about things that are going on. And as he's in there having this conversation, it's really kind of grown up and adult. They're talking about true points. He's being honest and open, but he still has to be tactful. We know Nelson's a great tactician, and he ends up like beating a pillow to make it seem as if he's beating George to satisfy Lady Hamilton, and it also kind of satisfies George, allowing him to know that his uncle is still a really good man who will play the part that he has to.
Now let this be a lesson to you, sir, that you'll never forget. I'll have no more treachery under this roof.
But tonally, it's such a strange movie because 2/3 of this movie is all about people within this house, people within the government just talking, chit-chatting, having these various kind of conversations that can be multi-layered or can just be downright hilarious on the cuff of extremities, especially when Lady Hamilton is involved.
Perhaps you would be happier in Tom Tit's bed than mine.
Emma, you're making a spectacle of yourself in front of strangers. There's nothing in the world I hate more than that.
Bugger off.
And in the final third, we jump to the final battle, and it's such a jarring change because we've had nothing close to that the entire movie that it just feels a little bit odd, a little bit out there. And especially coming after Damn the Defiant, the fight sequences are so differently shot. The boat in the Nelson Affair is so pristine and clean compared to the worked and lived in one in the Defiant. Two different movies, but it's just such a strange and unusual final third for this one, adding a little bit of commerciality into it. I don't think it was necessarily needed because the movie was strong enough on its own. But it's one of those movies that you're really going to enjoy the interplay between the actors, the subtle comedy, the lot of the rumours and innuendos that are going along here, the slight comments that are made are kind of fun. If you're sitting up paying attention, I think it's something that you can quite enjoy. Is it something you would go back to again and again? Not entirely sure. Is it for everybody? I don't quite think so either. I think check out the trailers, read the synopsis if you think it's something you might be into. The Nelson Affair is something that could be rewarding if you're willing to go with it. I liked it. As to how much, I'm still a little bit unsure, but I definitely did enjoy this one. I would love to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comment box below what you thought of the Nelson Affair. As always, there's more content up here. You want to see more of my stuff, that would be fantastic. I've got more Imprint reviews on the channel under a playlist as well. And if you want to go into the description box, there is a link to the membership program or the Patreon program where you can really support this channel, which would be amazing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.